You are listening to Maximum Pew Pew, an actual play RPG podcast. Maximum Pew Pew follows continuous storylines and are meant to be enjoyed from the beginning. This episode is part of a special selection of bonus Extra Life materials and may contain spoilers for any associated works. In this episode of the Shrine of Tamaochan, the party makes an unexpected descent. I guess I need to pick a character.
Oh yeah, I do too.
So we have Broman and
I got Broman and a Rogue.
So we have all we need to die horribly and then say, "I told you so."
Yep. FYI,
I shouldn't have done that.
my perception is a +0, so I can.
Here, Jared. I'll just save
disable
you
the
some
traps.
trouble.
I just can't find them.
what am I getting? Is this my...
I can blow
you're
up the
giving me a
trap
fighter?
and hopefully survive the
No.
the carnage.
It's. I just looked at
You'll
the name
always
and
want.
it's a
Anytime we
sword
go into
dancer.
combat, you'll want to rage as your first
The
bonus
sword
action.
dancer, and you're like, yeah, there you go.
Do we want that much more?
I mean, I shouldn't be worrying about knocking an arrow.
A charlatan warlock.
That's good.
The warlock has an imp familiar. That's what's important about that warlock.
Yeah.
Is that
Diviner wizard. A cleric of the dark. Is this like capital D dark? Just
like literally she worships darkness, like the opposite of light. So
Right.
if there's shadows or
so I'll just let the cough drops run out on my voice, and because
Yeah.
I've been fighting a sore throat. And
yeah,
this'll be it.
and then she's also sort of a dark fairy, like Maleficent type,
Right.
curses and that sort of thing.
My name is Girethdra.
I don't know. I don't know if I can do a kobold voice.
Hushing my dark.
I don't know if we want you to do a kobold voice.
I really don't want to talk like
Yeah.
this the whole time.
By the power of
everybody's gonna be
Grayskull,
dead.
I am Broman.
I like it. That's perfect.
All right, here.
Actually, I have to be a female.
I will lean towards this
I have to
cleric of
be
the
a
dark for the
female
moment.
kobold, so I have to go really high.
So this is like the dark as a concept.
And the Reds did not get a real
like
mood.
literal darkness. Like I
Reds
can't
did not
see
get a real mood till
darkness.
Philly's down.
Right.
And so in
Because they're going to...
we're setting this in Midgard.
imprisoning me.
Yeah.
Barnhart.
So the setting
No
we're using is
copyright
Midgard, which is the Kobold Press
You gotta catch
setting.
them, they can hit.
And they're big on having both a void and a shadow realm.
Rashid.
Okay, that's cool.
And so there's a literal realm. There's where we are, and then you can go into the shadow realm, which is the bleak gray shadow dimension that is a mirror of our own dimension.
Right.
And so one of your ultimates is causing a collision with the shadow realm in a sphere. And so it bestows this incredible blackness and magical darkness and coldness in an area, which will allow you basically to teleport like Nightcrawler all through that sphere.
Oh, I get 2 damage. Melee.
And also does damage and makes other people not be able to see. But whenever that spell ends, there's a 1 in 20 chance or 2 in 20 chance that you've pulled something from the Shadow Realm across whenever you whenever the that's brutal.
What the hell is that? This is just Winfred. She visits sometimes.
Spell
Winfred,
whatever
Winfred.
gobbledygook. What do you want your name to be? It doesn't have to be what I have on the sheet because that's just gobbledygook.
What? I don't know. Actually, I kind of like it.
Okay, how'd you spell it for me? Gilf. Yeah, I don't remember.
It starts with a G.
Yeah, it's said like 4 syllables because the more syllables your name is, the more important you are.
Yes,
because
yeah.
she is Fae. Girethdra. Girethdra.
I will just call you G.
Jake.
Yes, I will allow you to shorten my name to match your wit.
Jared, what is your...
This is Rashid. I will refrain from the Street Fighter V theme music. Even though that's what's going to be
What?
playing in my head.
You could have looked at the other characters.
I did.
Just kept coming back to Rashid, huh?
I didn't see the Minotaur Ranger anywhere.
I didn't bring Ed, and I didn't bring the Minotaur Ranger.
Gotcha. No, this is fine.
We got no bombs?
Well, because Ed is based like Ed the demo
Ed
guy
is Ed.
He that character doesn't actually exist by any rule set that exists anywhere. Like it was all just made up. Because it was before the DM's Guild, and it was before any like Unearthed Arcana came out, and my buddy put out, Ed put out the picture of Ed the demo guy, and I was like, I got to make an alchemist, and none existed for 5e, so I just took a bunch of Pathfinder stuff and put it on a D&D character sheet.
Hand me that black.
That
white
sounds
erase.
legit.
The dry erase marker.
Oh, sorry.
That's a wet. Is this
that
a
wet
wet
or
erase?
dry?
Let me get one of the.
You would dry, yes.
I'm just going to write the same things, but so it's not upside down for people.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do with the.
No, it
the other way
works.
that I did it. Now you have your choice of handwriting as well.
Wait a second.
As long as it's not mine.
So did you bring the trap sheet, or do I need to screenshot it?
Maybe you should screenshot it because I don't think I brought that book. I thought that Michael played it last time and he had it, so I don't know if he got it off of the Facebook or.
I'll just pull it up.
Sorry about that. I thought
No worries.
That led me to believe that it was on the character sheet. Like so, I couldn't remember if it was or it wasn't.
No. Come up with it.
Okay, so this game is a competitive dungeon from the old school days of D&D, and what they would do would go to like Gen Con or some other convention and sign up teams of 4 players to run through this dungeon, and they give them a time limit. And I've read it was 2 hours. I've also read that it was 3 hours. And then there was a scoring system of some sort about A, how far into the dungeon did you get, and then B, how much treasure did you collect, and how many monsters did you kill. There also was sort of a tradition of telling the bloodiest stories of who died the most gruesome death in the middle of the dungeon. So this is not a thing that you are expected to win. In fact, it's unwinnable because sooner or later you're going to run out of time. And basically, you look at your character sheet, and we'll go around and introduce everybody here in a minute, but if you look at your character sheet, come to the realization that this individual on your character sheet does not survive today. Okay? It is a sacrifice to the altar of old school D&D played with 5th edition rules. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that we're playing in the Midgard setting by Kobold Press, which is a cool setting which is blends like fairy tales and old school European and Norse mythology, and it puts it all in a blender, and then it slaps like anything that you would find in Dungeons and Dragons, including like dragon people and displacer beasts and all that stuff, and it all kind of mushes that together, and you get this cool setting with huge dragon armies because all the dragons have gotten together and decided that they're going to be a nation and they're going to invade everybody else, and they're just going to rule everything through brute force. And then you have gnomes who are afraid of the great Baba Yaga because the Baba Yaga wants to eat all the gnomes, and so they've made a pact with devils so that to keep Baba Yaga at bay so that she can't come into their forest. And then there's this idea of ley lines and
Is that the lesser of two evils?
they're gnomes. I mean,
How about the more predictable of two evils?
well, if a gnome invites you into a tea party in the woods, you say no because they need to sacrifice things to the people who protect them from Baba Yaga. You know, if you can find other things to sacrifice, then your gnome brothers and sisters don't have to get eaten by Baba Yaga. But no, it's a fun setting that takes some things and spins it on its ear and.
Baba Ganoush.
There's also this idea of shadow roads and ley lines and the Shadow Realm, which will play a
The no
little
gnomes
importance.
is good gnomes.
And the reason I bring that up is
With
because we have
Girethdra.
some pre-generated characters that use some of the Midgardian themes. So I think that today we have Broman, Girethdra, Rashid, and Skuttle that are going to be running through the hidden Shrine of Tamoachan out of Yawning Portal. Introduce yourself to us there, Broman.
I am Broman the Barbarian. I am strong. I am fast. I am loyal. I often seek out games of chance where I do quite well, and I am a ladies' man, if I might say so.
Very nice, Broman. Girethdra.
I am Girethdra, Shadow Fae and Mistress of the Dark.
The dark, huh?
The dark. I capitalized the D for emphasis. The dark will speak to you if you listen, except for maybe Broman. I'm not sure he has enough brain cells.
Enough of that.
The reason you're a ladies' man is because the ladies can smell you from over here.
Rashid.
Yes, I'm Rashid Al-Wasim, a sword dancer, fighter, and I like to turn my swordsmanship into an art. And apparently my armor class is also an art because I add charisma to it. Like, what's up with that?
I think that's because Rashid dances away from danger. It's a performance check to avoid being sliced.
It's the most, like, bard thing I've ever heard. Sure, okay.
Skuttle.
Yeah, my name's Skuttle. I like to know how things work. I am a arcane trickster, so I've got a little bit of magic.
Skuttle, you sound kind of like a kobold.
A little
Surprising.
bit. A little bit. Don't know if I can keep this up the whole game. But
I have some alchemical cough drops if you need them.
But no, I like to tinker. I like to figure out how things and people work. And one day I hope to return to the Guild of Gearwork to prove that my creations are legendary.
Well, I've got some bad news for you, Skuttle.
This is all a dream, right?
Yes, it's all a very bad dream. So, you folks, do you want to name this doomed team of dungeon delvers? Do we want a team name?
We who are about to die.
We who are about
We
to
salute
die.
you.
We who
The
are
saluters.
Okay, so the saluters are following the dastardly rat sphinx, a noted, infamous rat folk necromancer, who is also what they call a necrophage, meaning that if he devours the flesh of a dead creature, he can steal its thoughts and secrets. And so he's been trying to find other necromancers, put an end to them, eat their flesh, and discover a way to create his very own set of phylactery and become a lich. You're onto his plans, and you want to stop the evil rat sphinx and his undead kitty familiar Waffles from committing these atrocities and transitioning through into
Transmogrify?
witchdom. Yeah, there we go. Transmogrify. That's a good word. It's becoming undead and an undead lich. You're following Rat Sphinx through shadow roads as he often travels. When all of a sudden, it's very hot and damp, and there's light cascading through jungle trees. You're in the rainforest. It's humid. It's hard to breathe. There are bugs everywhere. In the distance, you see a colossal pyramid. Girethdra, you can probably feel emanations of old power coming from this giant, overgrown pyramid in the distance. This is obviously an ancient place of power and exactly the type of place where Rat Sphinx would be headed.
This is where the Shadow Road ends. This is a place of great power where this Ratfink has led us. I'm sure this is the end of his quest.
As you...
If we have anything to say about it, it'll be the end of this quest.
Well, that's what we said last time and the time before that. I'm sure of it this time.
This time's different. I believe there will be a very discreet ending to this quest.
There won't be a next time.
Yes, well, some of us are better at discreet than others.
As you head towards the Pyramid Temple, you tread across cracked and overgrown flagstones, stepping over fallen and shattered pillars, pushing aside vines and briars. When you're nearly at the temple, the sound of creatures crashing through the underbrush comes from behind you. You turn around to see people moving through the woods towards the clearing around the pyramid. Then, suddenly, the earth shudders and gapes open beneath your feet, and you are falling amid the roar of collapsing masonry. Dust fills the air, and the sunlight disappears as the darkness swallows you.
Oh my.
I hate it when you're right.
You should be used to it by now.
It's true, I am kind of full of hate.
So, just as a little bit of table politics, as far as darkness goes, we have a Shadow Fae and a Kobold who can both see in the darkness. The Shadow Fae has sort of a switch she can, and that's Girethdra. She has a sort of a switch she can turn on and see in magical darkness, even. Mm-hmm. The Kobold just has regular dark vision. Otherwise, we have 2 humans, right?
No, this Rashid is a high elf that has dark vision.
Very nice.
Written on the sheet.
Okay, yeah, 5th edition is the edition of dark vision.
I'm a human. I can't see.
Just point, Broman.
We'll point you in the right direction and just let you rip.
Run straight. Run straight.
So,
5 paces and swing, buddy.
I'll pick up a rock.
So 3 out of the 4 of you can see that you're in a long, narrow chamber. It runs from east to west, and in the center of this apartment is a dome-shaped dome shape on the floor. In the east wall is a blank-faced stone door, and the west end of the room is blocked by fallen stone and rubble. That's the result of the collapse you just fell into. The 2 side walls appear to have several niches cut into them, and the shape in the center of the chamber appears to be a small alcove, protected by a half dome with the open end facing towards the door in the east wall. This alcove is set in a recessed, shallow, tiled well, 1 foot deep and 10 feet wide. The alcove itself is 4 feet high. The recess contains some sort of display. The display appears to be a diorama depicting a hunting party of Ulman warriors. They're in feathers and deer-hide garments in a mountainside scene. Some have pulled down a stag with the aid of a dog, another group is cleaning a small mule deer, and others have cornered a panther with their spears. A scout watches the panther from an outcropping above. He holds a metal staff with a loop on its end. It looks like a shepherd's crook. The 3 niches on both the northern and southern walls are 5 feet wide and about 3 feet off the floor. Each niche contains a diorama depicting some aspect of tribal life. The 6-inch tall figures in all of the displays appear to be made of stucco, realistically and brightly painted. The scenes portrayed represent fishing, farming, religion, warfare, the creation story, and crafting. A cave-in completely blocks the west end of the chamber. At short intervals, small amounts of rubble and dirt come spilling into the room. That's how you guys fell into here. Several large stones appear to have wedged themselves tightly, closing the collapse. I will repeat any of that you want me to. As an overview, you guys are trapped down here, number 1. Number 2, what wasn't mentioned in there is that aside from this scene before you of this diorama and these niches and the scenes...
It's a massive nativity.
Right, yeah. Well, yeah, there's this huge nativity, but the thing that I haven't mentioned is that there's also this eerie green fog that's sort of all around you, and it's kind of hard to breathe. Not like you can't breathe, like you're getting ready to suffocate, but like your nose stings and your eyes are starting to sting and your tongue is getting a little tingly, and everybody take 3 poison damage.
Just like that, huh?
It's the wandering damage table.
I'm going to raise my scarf up because assuredly I have a number of scarves and garments that would be possible to do.
I would say most sword dancers would have some sort of a sash or a scarf, yeah.
I'm sure I have to defend it everywhere I go. It's fun. It's
I'm an opera singer.
Yeah.
I got to keep my vocal
Stop making fun of a scarf, okay?
Skuttle, do you think you could take a look at that door? I would wager that there's some sort of lock or puzzle or trap behind it, having to do with these figures.
Sure.
This is a little too much effort. I doubt it's merely a museum.
Yeah, you gotta keep the dioramas safe.
Right.
Right.
So Skuttle will walk over to the door and check it for traps.
The door is carved with a sun symbol and appears to open into the room. There are hinges on this side of the room, and there are scratches on the floor. There's no visible lock or handle on it, although a slight gap stretches across the top of the door. 8 holes seem to have been bored into the door. They're about 1 inch in diameter, but nothing can be seen in them. The door seems to be fairly thick. The lintel is arched with a keystone at the top.
You got a crowbar?
I don't see how it could be trapped.
but Scuttle is not going to open the door. Standing in front of it.
Do you want Broman to open the door?
No, Scuttle's going to use Mage Hand to open the door, or try to open the door.
How are you going to try to open the door?
She's going to use Mage Hand to stick the Mage Hand's fingers into the holes and pull one of the doors open.
Okay, so you're trying
using
to
the bore holes as a grip.
Yeah, as a grip
and pull.
Like a bowling ball type.
Yep.
Okay.
So Skuttle, who has legerdemain, which means that his mage hand is invisible, struggles without any of the other party members being able to see exactly what he's doing. He's just sort of like breaking a sweat and pretending like he has the force.
It's happening. He's having a stroke.
And nothing happens with the door whatsoever.
I can't get it.
All right, there are 8 holes. Let's look around. How many of these alcoves or dioramas are there again?
There are, maybe I should refer to the map on this one. There are 6 niches. Mm-hmm. There are 6 niches, 3 on each side, and then there's a big display in the center that's kind of got like a half-sphere dome over the top of it.
Okay. Well, let's take a look. Is there anything obviously missing from any of them, or maybe related to each other? I just want to examine them closely to see what we can discover.
Well, the flip side of that is that Mage Hand's not going to be able to pull that much weight, and it seems like the door was described as being very heavy.
Yeah, it's like, I think they can pull 10 pounds. Mage Hand can.
Well, okay, so I'll address that sort of in reverse order. What I can give you as far as information more about Scuttle's Mage Hand attempt is that you even had trouble, even though the hand was invisible. Skuttle would know that you had trouble getting fingers into anything because there's no handle, and like you were just kind of going at the little indents in the door, and it's sort of like you can't even get a grip on it to pull it open. So, I mean, I guess I won't. Gotcha. I'm going to try to D&D this as a referee more than a regular 5th edition D&D DM. So,
she could. Her Mage Hand couldn't get purchase on the door to even start pulling. Yeah,
correct.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. As far as the displays, the center display is like a half dome, like I said, and there's it's like a little well that's 1 foot deep and 10 foot wide that it sits down in. And it's a diorama that depicts a hunting party of Omen warriors. There's the ones that are bringing down a stag with a dog, and there's another group cleaning a mule deer, and then there's another that has a panther trapped. That's what's in the center. And then the niches on either door have different dioramas that all depict some aspect of old school ancient tribal life. They all have 6-inch figures. The scenes are fishing, farming, religion, warfare, the creation story, and crafting.
It's like it's Spinal Tap with the 6-inch figures. You were supposed to be 6
Last time we had 6-inch figures that came to life.
Yeah,
Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of flashbacks to the tomb of Amenhotep. However you say that.
Amenhotep.
Yes. I've probably gone way down through the hole of overthinking this. And I'm not reaching anywhere useful.
Well, you wanted to look at the figures more closely, right?
Yeah.
So, do you want to look at any of the niches more closely, or do you want to look at the center?
Let's start with the niches,
Okay.
Because I figure if there's something missing or off theme or whatever going on in any one of them, it might be easier to spot there.
Okay, so handily, this calls them out as niche A, B, C, D, E, and F. Mm-hmm. So if you guys want to take notes that way, it's probably the best way to do it. Niche A is a river scene, and there are a dozen little figures that gather fishes with nets, and they're kind of like carving a dugout by the fishing scene.
I think that actual scene exists in the Culture Center Museum in Charleston.
It may.
The Hopewell people. Yeah. I went down a Hopewell rabbit hole the other day. There's not very far to go. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of available study on whale cultures, but
that's a rabbit hole that would chew well into our 3-hour time limit.
Of these scenes, are there any with like a sunburst or any?
Oh, that's true. There's a sunburst on the door.
Right. And I'm curious if maybe like there was one that was pertaining to farming.
Yeah, I'm looking here.
Or more symbolically, like the
well, yeah,
kind of creation.
Is the sunburst, is it of a religious sort, or is it that evil day moon that haunts me?
It's just a sun symbol. It kind of looks like the rest of the figurines is in the same style as what we would consider, South American jungle indigenous people's style, like a Mayan or Aztec. Old school D&D calls it Olman, so it's an Olman style. So it's just a sun on the door. As far as the niches, there's no real corresponding sun symbol that you can see in any of those niches. You asked about some of the niches. Specifically, niche E is the creation story. There's a god adorned in green feathers that is mixing ashes with blood to form sculptures of men and women. 4 towering figures painted red, black, blue, and white are standing about a fire, committing suicide with their daggers.
Ashes
2 smaller
and blood,
figures are
I
ringed by
approve.
the 4. And there is one that is being consumed by the fire, and another that is cowering in fear.
Delightful. Ashes and blood.
Something tells me it's not this one.
You asked about the farming as well. There are 12 figures engaged in farming, planting maize, harvesting wheat, and there are what appear to be 5 warriors that are standing guard, and a shamanistic style figure as well in a bird costume that is blessing the fields.
Skuttle, is there anything mechanical about these dioramas? Or are we just
I don't know. Is there?
are we just looking at mundane nativity scenes,
like,
or is there something to this?
Skuttle, there's nothing that you can see that would indicate in your years of studying gear work and tinkering with things. Like, there's nothing here to take apart other than it looks like carved little statues and figurines that could be moved around, but there's nothing clinky, clacky gear related here.
Is there anything that on any of these dioramas that seem to be the same size as the boreholes in the door that might fit into them?
It looks like the figurines would fit into the boreholes, if that's what you're asking. It doesn't look like they're not a perfect match, but you could pick one up and put them in a hole in the door if you wish to.
Is there a
Jam 'em in,
pattern in the
leverage and
holes
pull.
in the door that match the kind of correspond to the various?
There's 7 dioramas and 8 holes.
Well, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need. It's important for me to correct that. 8 holes seem to have been bored into the door. They were about 1 inch in diameter. So no, you can't fit the figures. The figures are taller than that, so you can't fit them in.
Couldn't
You just stick their
shove
heads
it
in.
in.
Yeah. If you could shove them in like a toddler and like a GI Joe and the VCR.
Yeah.
It's like I've been training for this since I've been 2.
GI Joe and the VCR just gave away my
peg in
age
the
too.
square
Anyone
hole.
wants to listen to this.
Not the square ones, Rashid. They're not made that way. I just had the horrifying thought. Mayhaps some of what we need is under the rubble. Maybe there are 8 displays. Is there anything in the displays that would happen to kind of match that 1 inch diameter you speak of?
Like the other 2 dioramas are going to be like irrigation and the troubles.
There are and these dioramas are very detailed. So not only do you have the figures that are doing these things, but it's obvious what they're doing from an uneducated person looking at them, right? It's like, that's obviously fishing, that's obviously farming, excuse me. So that means that not only are there figures, but there are sort of tools and scenery and things. And so like some of the miniature tools and scenery looks like it's small enough to fit into some of those
Like
holes.
a little staff that they used.
Cool. Yeah, like there's the shepherd's crook that would be
Right.
for like your.
Get some leverage.
Well, I mean, it's probably like a shepherd's crook the size of like this mechanical pencil, or smaller. But that might.
It's like G.I. Joe accessories.
And then like
Like the Ninja Turtles weapons.
Right.
Mini
plastic
staff.
pizzas everywhere.
Oh my God! It's He-Man's lost sword.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you know you could put the skeleton one and the He-Man one together?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Sidetrack.
so
They
I'm
never dealt with
thinking-
that in the cartoon. It pissed me off.
So like the shepherd's crook and like a fishing tackle. I don't know. Just start taking things off these dioramas. Like I'm at a loss. Like
Yeah, something that kind of symbolizes each one.
Yeah, some sort of implement.
Broman to start clearing up the debris to see if there's anything under that.
Yeah, do that, Broman.
Okay.
Broman will clear debris.
Okay.
Point me in the right direction.
Rage clear.
I
oh
can't
yeah,
see.
just like if it feels like it's not smooth, just
Will you make a strength check to try to move some of the rubble for me, please? So you're going to roll a d20, and you're going to add the bonus under your strength
I
score.
have a strength of 4. So 16, so that's a
Nicely
20.
done.
Yeah, so you pull real hard on what you think is some of the rubble that is covering up whatever you're looking for there. And you take 2 damage as more rubble falls in from the roof and clonks Broman on the head. You cleared out some space, and that space was quickly filled by more rubble and stones. and rocks and things.
wonderful. This is
I could watch this all evening.
it's an exercise in futility. Great.
I'm glad. Well, let's go back to what Rashid did a minute ago and picked up the shepherd's hook.
yeah.
Rashid, when you pick up the shepherd's hook, it is quite obviously, the bottom of it is quite obviously in the shape of a key.
Cool. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, but you know. I mean, there's
Mayhaps, dear, it goes in the door.
what key do you know has 1 inch diameter? Like, I'll go over the door and start examining shapes. Is there something that this figure with the shepherd's crook might fit into? Obviously.
So Rashid takes the key over to the door, and the 1 inch bored holes are not where the key goes. It's pretty obvious. And you look around, and there's no obvious place for the key to go. There's no handle. There's no lock. All you see is hinges. If you want to make either an investigation or a perception check, I might be able to tell you more.
All right, I will try to perceive.
Hinges we can knock out.
That is a 15 perception to try to find
That's a
maybe
little too practical.
someplace. Well, the hinges are on this side. Like we could just start working on those and
Tinkerer.
Yeah, so you can't find any place to put that key.
All right, then
I'm gonna
let's
pocket that figure.
let's kind of refocus then. So let's go to like the scene of the niche A, and look for a similar thing. Since that's fishing, then maybe the dugout canoe or one of the fishing rods or something like that, and see if we can find a comparable key.
They all look like action figure accessories, like we were saying, He-Man's sword, but there's no indication of a key. The shepherd's hook ends in what is quite obviously, like a skeleton key shape.
yeah.
Okay.
little
And
notches.
nothing exists in any of the other niches that you look.
All right, then let's examine the central piece.
Okay.
Maybe that is where the keyhole is.
Yeah, I was going to say, Scuttle's going to start circling the room, just looking for a keyhole, maybe somewhere in one of the walls.
Well, let's have Skuttle make an investigation check.
That would be 17.
I've got points.
So Skuttle takes a keener eye and a kobold's attitude to the task that Rashid did a minute ago at the door.
Nope.
And sees that there's a small keyhole that's hidden under the keystone at the top of the door that you have to kind of slide the face of the keystone aside to even see. kind of slides out, and then there's a small little keyhole at the top of the door.
Hey guys, I found something. Maybe a keyhole, but it's way, way, way up there.
I'll give you a boost.
I mean, I can cast my mage hand again.
Well, here's the key.
I'll cast Mage Hand again.
Yeah,
and,
so so the key floats up and click. Sure enough, click. Let's read what happens. Everybody get ready to make a save. Just kidding. I love.
Are you, though?
How tense everybody.
Are
got.
you?
Am I down?
Took 3 damage just coming out. Like,
Yeah. So whenever the key enters the hole and the mage hand kind of turns it, there's a release of pressure as the heavy stone door kind of swings slowly open across the.
Yeah, and Skuttle is
scratches
not
on the
standing
floor.
in front of the door. She's off to the side.
Very good. And
Victim of that trap
yeah,
before.
congratulations, you've opened the door. You're in a long corridor. The stone walls of this corridor are carved to resemble a stack of bamboo-like logs. The passage slopes down from a single door on its western leg, the lintel of which has been crafted to represent a stylized cavern entrance. It leads to double doors of beaten bronze, worked to resemble a forest of seaweed. So a single door, and then you head north, I think, that leads to double doors of beaten bronze.
which door appears to be the easiest to open?
Well, the door that you just opened is one of the doors.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of difficult to open, but you
Yeah.
got
So I mean,
And so then there's a long hallway in front of you, and then there's bronze double doors at the end of the hallway.
All right.
Okay.
Be careful here. Check the floor.
Yeah, I'm
here.
going to check for traps.
Okay, roll me a trap check.
That is investigation.
I think that you have proficiency in.
I have proficiency. I have expertise in disabling them.
Okay,
But
so I think it's just a perception check then.
that would be a 7.
Okay, what's your
Investigation. Would
no
be
your
13.
passive perception? There should be a
11.
passive 11.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't see anything to be worried about in this hallway.
Looks clear.
All right.
sounds fine to me.
I still can't see. Everything looks black.
It's dark. It's just the dark.
So I guess we will move up to the second set of bronze doors.
The double bronze doors that look like a forest of seaweed.
When you get about halfway down the corridor,
Go on.
large logs swing out from either side of the hallway and batter you across your shoulders and your ears and your backsides as it pushes you towards the double bronze doors as you tumble down sort of the decline that the hallway is
Just
in.
get Ewoked.
Yeah. You guys each take 7 bludgeoning damage. And you are standing in front of the double bronze doors. Oh, and all of the logs sort of stay in place behind you, blocking your way back. I would also bring up, this is a good time to bring up that green foggy stuff that was in the last room. It's in this hallway too.
More poison.
Well, I guess it wasn't clear.
This is like our shot clock, and the reason we're not going to be able to take a rest. Like, probably.
Right.
We gotta go fast.
But Dungeon Master, how can you guarantee we won't survive? You rest, you die.
I'm down 12 hit points already.
You cannot rest while enemies are near.
Yeah.
Take your hit points.
Getting sleepy.
Bethesda. Sorry.
It's like the combat music is just continuously on. Like, where?
Where's the bear? Yeah.
Where?
I can't find the bear anywhere. I know it's here. And then you're like, forget it, I'm going to craft for a minute. And then the bear kills you. It's just like, where were you? Elder Scrolls, I miss you. Okay, yeah, so you're at the front of the bronze, you're in front of double bronze doors. The bronze has been worked to resemble a forest of seaweed.
Well, I can only imagine which body of waters behind here.
It's going to flood the tunnel.
Well,
We can damage everyone breathe deep.
of the green, misty, like stale air that's down here. Like this
We're gonna reach Ratfink at the end. He'll already be a lich, and he'll be like, "Why didn't you take the front door?"
There were complications.
Beat down the door.
Yeah, well, this one may have handles.
Okay. Let me check.
Does this door?
There are handles.
Nice.
Nice. That means they want us to touch them.
Check it for traps again.
Yeah.
That might be good.
Roll high.
I'm going to roll an investigation to check for traps. 22.
You don't see any traps. It looks like a door you can just open. Foley sound by Skuttle there.
That's my favorite thing to do. Is like, I want to open the door quietly. Okay, what'd you roll? 2.
The door opens. The room that you see before you is constructed of large stone blocks, but buttressed in the corners. Not butt-tressed in the corners, but buttressed in the corners. That's a weird place to put a hyphenation.
What's a butt tress?
This room is constructed of large stone blocks buttressed in the corners. The walls are wet and slimy, and mud covers most of the floor in a thin coating. To the east and west may be seen stone doors recessed in the wall, and to the north a set of stairs leading down. In the center of the chamber sits a large polished boulder amid a pile of smaller rounded rocks. The boulder is 5 feet tall and colored brown with dark streaks and spots. Leaning against it is what appears to be a bamboo staff. In the mud around the base of the boulder is a moving shape. Looks like a crayfish. It is facing you and seems to be aware of your presence.
How large of a crayfish?
It looks to you to be a giant crayfish.
Okay, so like,
Giant's a relative term.
So it's like 12 inches long, 2 feet long, 20 feet tall.
Hold on, let me pull up Appendix B and I'll tell you.
do I need to make more than? Do I need more than one to make gumbo, or will one make more than one gumbo? Like that's
lobster.
I hope you've enjoyed this extra life content. If you're interested in updates from Team WV Fox, follow us on Facebook. In addition to event updates and details, there are opportunities to win some excellent prizes, such as a copy of the 7th Sea 2nd Edition Core Rulebook published by John Wick Presents. If you would like to support Maximum Pew Pew and WV Fox, please visit tinyurl.com/maxpewpew to make a tax-deductible donation today. All donors supporting my donation efforts will be announced at the end of every Extra Life episode on Maximum Pew Pew. This week, I would like to thank Hillary, Kimberly, Caitlin, Amber, Carrie, Kung Fu Dinosaur, Heidi, Stella, Kim, the McCauley family, Melissa, Grace, Rhonda, and our anonymous donors for their donation to Team WV Fox and Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Please look forward to the official Team WV Fox Marathon event, starting Saturday, May 4th, 2019 at the James Mark Building, located at 901 Courier Street, Charleston, West Virginia. Ambient music provided by Tabletop Audio, original 10-minute ambiances and music for games and stories. Find out more at tabletopaudio.com.